Spontaneous teen takeovers are popping up.
Teen takeover. Teen takeovers.
Teen takeovers.
Let me ask you a question.
You know, I've seen this as a growing problem all over the country, and out here in Los Angeles, it's a problem as well, where you see these mobs of young kids, teenagers, causing problems. And there you see, even in this clip, you see the police staying right, they're right there, they're present, but they know their hands are tied in some situations. But this is a parenting issue. You should know where your kids are at all times. This is nighttime, and you see kids with backpacks on, like after school. Why aren't they home? Why aren't they home? I don't care if you work or not. Your child should be at home.
How do they know it's a teen takeover? Because they can use their eyes and recognize that the people who are there are teens? Well, if you use those same eyes, what else can you discern about 99% of the teens in these takeover videos? That's right, they're all black teens, but you're not allowed to make that observation.
You know, this is a tough thing to talk about, but if you're going to be real and do content, you got to be honest. It is a problem, and I'm black, and it is a problem in our community. But personally, some of the things that are shown on social media with things like this is teen takeovers. I don't know any parents who allow their kids to behave like that. And all of my friends, the ones that are African American, they know where their kids are at all times. Their kids are accomplished. They're going to school. They're succeeding well in life. I don't know any black people who allow their kids to behave like that. I just don't. So, then it comes with the profiling thing and saying, black youth or black teens. Well, not all of us. The majority of them are very well behaved, well mannered, and are doing well. But this is a small bunch. But it's something we have to address.
No, these are just teens. Don't notice anything else. So why does it matter what race they are? I can hear a liberal shriek. Simple. How can you solve a problem if you're unwilling to admit what the problem is? After yet another teen takeover in Florida, this time a wild...
And then some of these fights that they have, like... Whatever happened to the thing of when a man goes down, he's down. You don't hit a man when he's down. Man, it's like a mob of people jumping somebody, and then you think it's just going to be an injury. No, somebody dies from that. And then what went from a simple fight now is murder. That quick, your life has changed. And we need to talk about that. We need to talk about what kind of parenting is going on in our homes, in our communities.
One in Tampa Bay, James Fishback, a candidate for governor of Florida, went off at this press conference.
It was not a teen takeover. What happened here on Friday night was a riot. We are not going to be able to address this issue because we're denying what it truly is.
Those words, riots, gang members, thugs, those are terms that people use to describe things within the black community. People who aren't in the black community will use those terms. And, that's uncomfortable because that's how profiling happens. And when somebody is profiled, it's not the bad person or the bad kids who are profiled because they know how to maneuver around that. It's the good kids or the decent person who's just going about their day. The Capitol riot to what he sees, and he's a politician with the teen takeovers. There were no kids at the Capitol building trying to get in. Those were grown adults who broke in and did what they did. And, you can have your opinion of it and say, oh, it wasn't, and this and that. That's fine. That's your opinion. I thought it was a riot. Those people I thought were arrested and, were prosecuted fairly. But two different scenarios, two different situations.
Insurrection. One thing that we have to confront is that black youth violence the truth of the matter is, that the group here on Friday night was almost exclusively young and black. There's something to be said about the root causes that lead a 12-year-old who was arrested here on Friday night to riot without parental supervision.
Man, that's a tough pill to swallow, what he just said. He said a lot, mostly targeting, and he wasn't targeting them. And it's, he's just calling it what it is. They're black youth. And kids who behave that way most of the time come from communities that are not together. They're poor communities. When I was a kid, man, if I was outside, the neighbors down the way, they would see me. And what happened to that? What happened to the neighbors watching your kids, to the communities watching your kids and being aware of what's going on in the house? That has been broken in our community. I don't know how or why that happened, but it has been broken. A 12-year-old being arrested, man. And one thing we have to correct is this going to jail like it's a badge of honor. It's not. It's an embarrassment. And then your life, I mean, going to jail is a life-changing moment. Because for the rest of your life, I mean, especially if it's something serious, you got to check that box. You know what I'm talking about. You got to check that box to say, yeah, you were convicted of a crime or a felony. And, you know, might that mean you don't get that position or that job? It could be. But because you made a decision, even if it's in your teenage years, that reflects and that does something to your adult life. And a lot of kids don't understand that. But like he said, this is a parenting issue. This is not an issue of you can have all kind of social programs, funding, do all that stuff. This has to do with mothers and fathers knowing where their kids are at and being responsible for their children.